Somehow, we managed to unpause within our first episode. Yeah, I don't know either. Now we just have to outmaneuver the Viking faction, which is mutually at war with our present target. And everything will be fine. Probably. Hello, Legion. This is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Crusader Kings III in our Empire of Albion series. So we're currently paused, obviously. By the way, it's the 5th of September, 867 AD. I think I managed to go that entire first episode without mentioning, the date. So you can always check that in the bottom right-hand corner, of course. But before I unpause, there is one thing that I can do that I didn't do in the first episode that can actually help immediately with our potential objectives, especially if we want to conquer the Soothsayer before they get any allies. And that is to find Donald a spouse. So obviously we have a kid, and I really should have done this immediately, but I didn't. Also, looks like we can choose another concubine. I don't know if I realized this in the first episode or if she wasn't an option, but our wet nurse and court physician can also be a concubine. I'll hold off on that for now, but let's go ahead and focus on this particular goal. I just saw the opening there for the third concubine. I was like, wait a minute, he doesn't have as many women as he could have, and like dynasties and babies, and this needs to happen. Anyway, so we need to be careful not to marry him to West Francia, because we already have an alliance with West Francia. But it looks like the Kingdom of Italy has a young princess that we could betroth, and that would still give us an alliance. And Italy's a little bit farther away, so that's kind of problematic. Lotharingia is closer. Just to give you an idea of where this is, here's Lotharingia. Here's West Francia. So we're allied with West Francia. Lotharingia is a pretty good option, I would say. Let's make sure that that marriage is going to work out for other reasons, and we'll probably go with it, all things considered. Also, Princess Bertha is comely, so she's only 4 at the moment. It's going to be a long betrothal. However, Donald is 6, so they're actually close in age. So we're just arranging this marriage for when these kids come of age. And she's already brave and ambitious, so this is looking like a good match, especially given that there's a congenital trait involved. Let's go ahead and arrange that. And that might take a second to fire, but what we should see... Let's also take a look at this, yeah. Unfortunately, King Charles, for whatever reason, well, I say for whatever reason, we can totally find out. He doesn't like me very much at the moment. Forced my relative into a blasphemous union. Excuse me? Excuse me. What are you talking about? You're Catholic? Oh. Is it because of my concubines? Charles, is it because there are other people involved? That's probably why. That's fair. You know what? Totally fair. I will just accept that. Alliance formed. Now, as you recall, at the end of the episode, we went ahead and gave the order to attack this territory here. Let's pause again and see if we can call some more allies. We can call Lothair. So let's go ahead and do that, because I would hate to be caught off guard with this particular army, especially given that we have some additional fighting to do. We can also call dynasty members. This would use up some of my renown, but I think it's worthwhile to do this, just to make sure that I have the reinforcements I need. So let's go ahead and chew through some renown too. What else can we do? We can create an accolade. Another thing I wanted to mention before I unpause, slight kind of detail to the succession law here. Notice that this title says it has its own succession. So one thing that's kind of interesting, because in the first episode I described that we have Confederate partition and gender law and et cetera, said a few random things about why we had a vote for the next heir. And that's actually not the reason. The title, the Kingdom of Alba, the specific title as created, has a male preference tanistry elective law. So that allows you to elect a leader. You can remove that law. It costs 750 prestige. I'm not going to do it. We'll go ahead and stick with what is kind of vanilla for now. But that's why we have the voting. FYI. So you can have title-specific laws which can be added or revoked for certain costs. All right, looks like Lotharingia has agreed to join the war, as have some of our allies. Specifically, well, it's our dynasty members that are on the way now. Interesting. They look like they were going to attack, but then didn't. What do we have here? Oh, Dristan has a hunt going. Let's see. Doesn't look like a very dangerous route. This is a new system in CK3 with the most recent expansion. Just adds a little bit more flavor to the act of traveling around, regardless of where you're traveling. So you could be going to a hunt, you could be going to a feast, you could be going on a like an actual pilgrimage, and your character travels across the map and they encounter events as they go. It's been in the game before, but not at the level of detail it is now. So it actually seems like there are no dangers on the route, so I don't have to do anything in terms of hiring any protection or a caravan master. I'm gonna just go for it. Seems like it's pretty safe at the moment, so let's let that be the end of it. Okay, that's going to be literally all of my renown if I use it, so we're going to hold off on that. My steward, Mormaer Dristan, is hosting a hunt in Fife, and time has come for us to depart. I should be able to proudly represent the House of Albion. Hunting with birds is a most noble pursuit, one I am sure to excel at. I hope it goes well. Yeah, fingers crossed. As we await the arrival of the rest of the guests, Mormaer Dristan has started up the preparations. His gamekeepers check the grasslands each day for signs of quarry while building a camp closer to the hunting grounds. My bird grows restless waiting, knowing it will soon be unleashed. Soon. Eowyn assembles the party as the sun rises over the camp in the grasslands near Fife. With any luck, we'll find a gaggle of geese, and our falcons will have great sport. The beaters teams are ready with their hounds, and a well-appointed spot has been selected. Let's get out there. Okay, so that's going to continue counting down. Notice that war score is ticking up, probably because our opponent is not doing well. We need to outmaneuver the Soothrayer at the moment. My falcon has completely disappeared from my view, and looking all around the landscape, I see nothing. Then I hear it screeching out for me, and I find it perched with blood dripping from its talons, though there is no sign of any other beast nearby. Clearly, my falcon has recently gotten into a fight with something too big for it to take on by itself, and it must be nearby. Let's find the beast. So this actually increases my hunter trait experience. We lose some stress because we're doing well, and it looks like this is going to increase success chance either slightly or a decent amount. It's a combined learning and stewardship challenge, so it kind of rolls as a dice check. It looks at my learning stat and it looks at my stewardship. Remember that my learning is boosted at the moment because that's my lifestyle, and it will continue to get better as Constantine II or Constantine I, whatever we want to call him, as he ages. But let's find the beast. Looks like it increased slightly, so that's the less preferable outcome of the two. Mormaer Dristan's game masters signal the party to hush. We have arrived at the release spot. There is a clear sight line to a gaggle of brown geese watering themselves in a pond up ahead. The beaters will soon be in position, ready to spook the game to flight. The party halts as we prepare to remove our birds' hoods and set them one by one to their sport. It's time. Hunt's going pretty well, actually. The first hunt of each game that I typically play in CK3 doesn't always have events this exciting, to tell you the complete truth. I watch excitedly as my falcon identifies a target and takes wing from its watch, soaring high into the air. The beaters have scattered the honking brown geese, who now fill the air with their flapping clamor. Time and again, my falcon swoops in for a kill, but misses, retreats, or only grazes its target. That's not good. After hours of attempts, the game have all but disappeared. The falcon is near exhausted, and the light is fading. Okay, well, that did not go well. I spoke too soon. Looks like we're done. Heeding the call of the wild is an adventure, and this outing delivered the good and the bad in abundance. Eowyn gathers the disappointed party and exhausted hounds for the trip home. The goose indeed eluded us this time. Let us leave this adventure behind for now. So we lost some stress, we gained prestige, we've gained the trait Hunter, so that gives me additional prowess that's in battle, and then stress loss as well is a little bit better. Opinion of Hunter characters plus 10, so other hunters will have an opinion bonus toward me. Hopefully, hey, maybe the king of West Francia is a hunter. You never know. Let's leave this adventure behind for now. Finish hunt. Nice. We gained 200 martial lifestyle experience. Thank God I can go inside again. Let's pause for a second. I wonder if he is. I'm actually... That wasn't a joke. It would be nice if he... Okay. No, never mind. He's not a hunter. If he becomes a hunter, though... If he becomes a hunter, his acceptance chance is climbing. Slowly but surely. We just need to, like, be more awesome, I suppose. Alright, that's not good. I'm going to need to wait for reinforcements and then go ahead and attack this army. This is kind of advantageous for me to attack them right now, though, because I want to attack the Suklayara anyway and take their land before they have too many friends. Donald's first enrobing. As I patiently await the fetching of my clothes, a servant stutters, "My lord, no one can find your garments." "I'm surrounded by incompetence," I mutter, storming from my bedchamber. It's in the nursery of my son, Donald, that I discovered not only my raiments, but also the boy's wet nurse. "I had no part in it, my liege. He dressed himself," Lesser Fiona responds with a giggle. The little scoundrel. So I could gain some prestige for this, and he would gain opinion of me for 12 months. I could say, so he's a prince of fashion, and he would actually gain a nickname, and also still gain an opinion bonus. Or I could say I don't have time for this, which would basically make it a little bit easier for my kid to be my rival in the future. I'm going to go ahead and just say the little scoundrel. We might have a prince of fashion at some point in the future. We have several generations to play through here. Still waiting for allies to arrive. We're on speed 3. We can go all the way up to speed 5 if we wanted to. But mainly I just want to make sure this raid goes through. And then see if I can attack these guys here. Let's actually look at the army composition. What are we looking at? Okay, so I've got a lot more men-at-arms in this army than they do, so I would probably win that fight pretty handily if I attack them right now. Honestly. I might do that as soon as I'm done with Dunbar here. Just so I don't lose the territory that I've already taken. And there we go. Okay. So, a couple of things just happened. It's worth talking about. We control Dunbar, occupying it. We don't actually own it, but we occupy it. And we got 23 gold from that, which is handy. I'm going to go ahead and move in here. This siege looks like it's going to be done in about 30 days. This army is going to be on top of that army in 7 days. It's a pretty close match, so this is going to be, depending on what happens with this army here, this could be pretty spicy. Prisoner taken in siege. We captured Earl Osoph of Dunbar during the siege of Dunbar. Alright, so that is a potential ransom. Hang on. Okay, he can't afford the full 50. So, do we keep him? Might keep him until we can afford it. That's 50 gold. 50 entire gold. Okay. This should go our way. And again, the reason for that is most of their army is kind of foot soldiers and levies, whereas I had more in my army that were, as you recall from the first episode, these men-at-arms units, which are more advanced soldiers. So, even though it's pretty close, I had a feeling that it would go that way. And it looks like it is working out. So they should now beat a retreat. Our allies are arriving as well. We gained a level of fame from that victory. We're not endorsed by our archbishop for some reason. Why are we not... Hold on. Why is my crappy archbishop not endorsing me? Short reign? Yeah, I haven't been king very long. I guess that's a good reason. Why are you upset with me? Hatred. Disappointed. Oh, yeah, I think I might have upset the Chancellor at some point when he petitioned me for something in court. I don't even remember anymore. I would say I'm sorry, but I'm kind of not. All right, so let's see what else we can do here. We are at 46% war score. I'm going to try and just take the capital outright, because that would be a good way to perhaps guarantee victory, as long as I can hold on to these two. Looks like our allies are arriving, which is perfect timing. Not bad. Oh, that's going to be close. That's going to be real close. I didn't realize it was going to be that spicy, but it looks like we are winning. Wow, that could have gone the other way. Depending on the timing of like the arrival of all those units. We had a lot of armies converge in one place at one time. Looks like we won, and won pretty handily. Now we're going to siege. We still have a total of 4,498 troops remaining there. There's some raiding going on up here, which is unfortunate. Unconditionally. As I lean over the map in the council chamber, a sudden creak turns my head towards the door. My son Donald appears in the hallway and walks into the room. He looks at me with an inscrutable look for a moment, then walks over to me, wrapping me in a tight hug. I look at him, a hidden tear in my eye while my hand is stroking his hair in an effort to reciprocate the gesture. Do not cry. Do not cry. That's the actual tooltip. You're a good son. So we actually lost stress just from a positive interaction with our kid. Uh-oh. That's interesting. So it looks like Prince Charles of West Francia has just died from his wounds. He must have been in a fight at some point. Hold on. So are we not allied? We might have just lost an ally. We did. That's unfortunate. Now, that's the ally that wasn't helping us, so it's not a huge loss for the current fight, but that's the whole reason that we married who we married. Well, that and she's lustful. That's the other reason. So that's kind of annoying. Alright, this siege is almost over. 25 days left. 20. We can ransom. Alright, looks like his ability to pay that ransom is increasing. We have relatively few champions. Let's see if we can fix that, huh? I can recruit you to court. I can actually invite champions, so let's do this. It's going to cost some prestige, but I've gained some prestige. Nothing else I can do at the moment. Do I not have a court physician? I have a court physician. Yeah, I do. Lesser Fiona. I just had to be sure because I couldn't see her. Or the... It's not that I couldn't see her, but the decision was presenting itself there. I was like, wait, why are you doing that? That doesn't make sense. Okay, so I'm going to send this army to attack this one. This is another army of the Suthrayar, and hopefully my allies will come with. They are coming with. Perfect. Because I don't want them to take that territory from me. This war is going decently so far, but I suppose I shouldn't say things out loud. Alright, they're a little bit behind, which is annoying. Donald's first teething. With my leave, my son Donald and his wet nurse parade into my chamber. Lesser Fiona poses like a herald and proclaims, "My liege, you witness a monumental occasion. Donald has a mighty gift to offer you." She nudges him forward. "Go ahead, Donald. Tell him." "Father, I lost a tooth." My son proudly presents his toothless smile, handing me a pouch with the fallen tooth inside. So we can say, lovely, but keep your tooth as a good charm. So he'll gain some prestige and also some opinion of me. And he will actually have an artifact he can use once we control him as a character, which we might... The way that succession works in CK3, like, your successor in your dynasty is the character you take control of when the character you're currently playing dies or is killed. So if he doesn't succeed me, we won't play as him. That's how it works. There's no... You can kind of steer it in that direction, but you can't actually choose it in most circumstances unless the game is giving you the option to choose your successor. In which case, you can choose it because you can choose your successor. Anyway, I digress. So you can say here, a gift begets a gift. You can actually give him money, and we get the milk tooth, which would improve his opinion of me permanently and also give me some extra prestige per month. Or I can say I don't have time for this. I'm going to say lovely, but keep your tooth as a good charm. Alright, so this fight is about to swing in the other direction. It was going badly at first, but our allies showed up. Yeah, so the first ally that we actually signed up with has not been that useful, all considered. Okay, this is really good news, by the way, for our eventual war with the Suthrayar, because they at the moment only have 1,528 troops. Remember how many they had last episode? Yeah. Yeah. So now I'm just going to try and take Teviotdale and hope that taking that last bit of territory allows me to end my war with Northumbria and claim Lothian for mine, which Lothian, remember, has Edinburgh right here. And we need Edinburgh if we're going to be Scotland. I'm honestly getting to that a little bit faster than I have in previous campaigns on this run. So I say that, it could still go south, but we're going to do our best. This war has gone pretty well, I have to say. Sister taken prisoner. My sister, Countess Morag, was captured by Count Haston of Montagu during the siege of Kilkenbright. That's not good. Stone of Glass. As I struggle to make out the tiny letters on the scroll before... Alright, so this is an event that's popping up because of my lifestyle. I feel a headache building once again. Why do scribes insist on writing such small symbols? I squint and try again. Nothing short of a miracle. With the aid of a stone of glass, even old men struggling with bad eyesight could read with ease. So we can actually request the assistance of the bishop, and we would gain 300 learning lifestyle experience if we did this. However, by requesting his assistance, he would get a weak hook on me. And he doesn't approve of me at the moment. I don't know if I want to give my crappy bishop a hook on me. That would enable him to basically call in a favor at some point in the future that he could, use. He could just use that against me. I'm not sure if I like that idea. So we could also pay and gain 300 lifestyle experience. And I actually have the money. I can also sell everything which is impossible to read, gain money, and lose stress. The reason, by the way, that you would lose stress from that, and the reason you have that option, it might be there every time just as the far negative option, but what you have to bear in mind as well is that we're arbitrary. So there's just a part of Constantine I, as much as he's arrogant, as much as he's diligent, he just doesn't give that many fucks. Pardon my French, but he doesn't. Like, he's arbitrary. He does what he wants. If he doesn't feel like it, he doesn't feel like it. So we could get some stress reduction by playing to that trait. However, I am going to say I need one of those stones because I want that 300 learning lifestyle experience. We're almost done with this war, and then I might be able to declare on the Soothsayer if I'm lucky. Alright, so we have some raiding happening in our territory. You can see it happening up here. That's kind of frustrating. Oh, okay, hang on. A helpful warning. I have received a missive from Petty King Ayla of Northumbria. It claims that Melmuri, my chancellor, has requested support in a plot against me. Really? There is nothing I value more than loyalty, Ayla's letter reads, hence why I share this with you. So, the King of Northumbria, my new ally who's helping me in my war right now, has actually determined that my chancellor is plotting against me. That's how mad my chancellor is over whatever it is that I denied him in the past. So we could confront him directly, and if it's true, I get a hook on him. If it's not true, then he will use the insult to his advantage. He is guilty, and I will publicly accuse him. So if the suspicion is unfounded, we would lose prestige for this. The petty king can't be trusted. My vassals have my support. So I can really stand up for my vassals here and say to the petty king of Northumbria, like, hey, maybe don't throw these wild accusations around. And I don't know if I want to... It looks like Melmuri might be a bit of a problem. First time this has happened. At least in the last couple of runs here. So, for me, not that I've done them on the channel, but just when I've played this start, especially getting ready for this series, I don't know that I've ever had, like, a counselor come at me like this, or appear to come at me. So, let's confront him. Let's confront him and see what happens. Ah, we got a learning perk available. Nice. Okay, so speaking of RPG mechanics, we now can choose one of the starting perks on these 3 trees. I'm going to go with Scientific. This will increase our cultural fascination progress. What is cultural fascination, you might ask? So, CK3 doesn't have a technology system, per se. Well, it does, actually, but not in the way that you think of it if you're, like, a Total War player or a Civilization 6 player. It's a little bit more complex than that. So, if we look at innovations under culture here, notice we have several eras of medieval history. Right now, we are tribal. So we're in the tribal era, and we also are a tribal kingdom. We're going to have to become feudal at some point if we're going to accomplish the objectives of this series, because it's not something that it's not one of the checkboxes on the thumbnail, but I want to be the feudal kingdom of Scotland, not the tribal kingdom of Scotland. So Edinburgh is actually a castle territory, which is good. We already will have a castle for our capital. That's just because it happens to be farther south, and the area farther south is feudal. If you want to look at government types, you can see that most of England, or at least, the isle that will one day be England in the real world, We're going to make this island, this series of islands, we're going to make it Albion instead, as you know from the intro. But most of it is feudal. However, when you look at Ireland, and when you look at most of Alba/Scotland, still tribal. So, 1% more, by the way, and this is over. Okay, so that didn't work out. When I present Petty King Ayla's letter to Mormaer Mamuri, it is first met with confusion, then anger. You believe his word over mine. Have I not always been a loyal servant? Actually, dude, you kind of haven't. You're kind of mad at me for no good reason, and I'm suspicious of you. So, was I wrong, though, is the question. His indignation plants a seed of doubt in my mind. Perhaps I acted too quickly. I should make amends before I ruin this relationship any further. Yes, in fact, I wish to reward you for your loyalty. So we could pay, or we can say you've always been such a good servant. Ooh boy. Okay. So this is a diplomacy challenge against him, and his diplomacy is actually slightly better than mine because I'm an early character in this line, and it just, yeah, unfortunately there's not a lot that that I can do in this. So there's only a 66% chance that I will win this, and if that happens, winning means I lose 150 prestige. Losing means I have offered an insincere apology, and I gain distrustful vassals for 10 years. Now what does that do? Realm laws are going to be 10% more expensive to enact, and direct vassals will all have a 10-point penalty, in their opinion of me. And we also gain stress because we're arrogant. So that's an example of my personality working against me here. If I wanted to go this route, because I'm arrogant, it would be a stressful thing for Constantine I to do. So we could say, yes, in fact, I wish to reward you for your loyalty. This, unfortunately, is going to mostly negate the benefits of the ransom that I'm trying to build up. But I think it's the safer option at the moment. So I'm going to go for that. And let me pause for just a second because we are going to try and ransom. Yeah, this will mostly fix the issue. You can't afford the full ransom. Oh, the queen's pregnant. Nice. Almost missed that notification. All right, I need this war score to reach 100, though. There it is. Thank you. That was really perfect time. So we're going to enforce demands. And they will no longer be able to attack Edinburgh. I'm going to send my units back to the capital. Actually, can I hit those raiders? Because if I can get those raiders, then... Yeah, hold on. Get them, get them, get them. Perfect. I'll actually be able to get gold from this particular army that's running around raiding. Now, if I give things a little bit of time, we might be able to turn this around and attack the Suthrayar. Maybe. Oh wow, that fight actually didn't go very well. I think my units are quite tired at this point. Okay, so we recovered 44 worth of loot from the chieftain. And we got some prestige. Not bad. Alright, so it looks like this war ended as well. That's a good sign. Check that out. Their military strength is inferior to ours. My armies are raised. I can't declare war right now, but I'm about to. I am absolutely about to. Okay, let's go ahead and disband our army now that it's home. Which means we will start making a little bit more money now. Speaking of money, can I, like, send you some? Good lord. There, okay. He gained some opinion of me. Try and... I know I just gave him a ton of money, but yes, I'm going to give him some more because we need to get that kind of fixed. His hatred for me is decreasing by 0.6 per year, but his hatred is at negative 29. It was at negative 30. So, Queen Ermentrude, how pregnant are you? She's been with child for 4 months. So, let's see if we can run the remainder of the time. It might be the beginning of the next episode before we see that child born. My Marshal, Mormaer Comgall, has been showing off a promising new recruit. He may not be as of noble stock as you, my liege, but on my name I swear that Lochne is someone you would want on your side. He actually has pretty good prowess. He's a good fighter. So, very well, because we need the champions. Oh, also, hang on, let's go ahead and recruit Onander as well. And Gofraid, for that matter. So we've paid a little bit of gold to recruit them. Now, it could make an accolade. An accolade is sort of like an order of knights, an order of warriors. Might do that near the beginning of the next episode, though, because we're approaching the end of this one, and that's like almost a whole discussion. Plus, you get to name them and choose some traits, so there's a bit of an involved process there. But just to take a look at this situation here, we could now declare against the Suthrayar. Now, most of our military strength at the moment is coming from Lotharingia, but we would probably be able to call him to the fight, and then we could say, just to show you what the options are here, we could say that we want to conquer. See, we actually have a claim as the character that we're playing. It's not even as the king. It's just as Constantine II. We start with a claim on the Suthrayar, because the game just gives it to me by default. There's always like claims your characters might start with as you begin at certain points in history, and then things get randomized after that, and you get claims based on where you're born and who you're married to and all these things. So we could go ahead and just say we're going to press this claim. It's only going to cost prestige, and then call additional allies in to fight this fight. Once I took that, then all of the Suthrayar, again, to show exactly the territory that would be taken, it wouldn't be the territory he holds down here. So he would still hold the Isle of Man, and he would still hold future Dublin. Okay? So we're not eliminating him entirely, and he could still be a problem, but we will reclaim most of de jure Alba, if we look at the kingdom map. Still, there'll be pieces of it out of our control, but large portions of de jure Alba will be reclaimed. But important progress made in this episode, because we now control the county of Edinburgh. Well, the county of Lothian, the city of Edinburgh. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this episode up here, though, and in the next one, we're probably going to kick the Suthrayar out of Alba entirely. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. If you're not new here, look for the join button to get access to channel unique emotes, badges, and other perks. New episodes drop every day but Tuesday at 11 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Comments are always welcome, so leave your thoughts below, and I'll see you next time.